There you go. Okay, so let's just start off. I didn't print this off for you. We're just going to go through this to see what you remember from yesterday. So it says, which of the following sentences are statements? So remember, statements are just a sentence that has a truth value. So it's either true or it's false, nothing in between. So Mrs. Schnorr is the best math teacher. Is that a truth statement? Doesn't matter if it's true or false, but is it a statement? Yes. Okay. Nope. It could, but it would be, I think Mrs. Schnorr is the best teacher. Then that's how it's that to happen. This is just like, could this be true or could this be false? Right? The Math 30-2 class is during period 5, 6 at Myers. Is that true or false? True. So this is also a statement. Okay. Are you taking social studies this semester? Is that a statement? No, it's a question. Okay. It doesn't matter that the answer is yes or no. It's a question, not a statement. Okay. If it's a question mark, it's not a statement. Yeah. So when we talk about the negation of a statement, all that means is that it has the opposite truth value. So you don't actually have to insert the word not. You can. You just have to say, okay, my original statement was true. So whatever my next sentence is, it has to be false. Or if my original statement is false, then my negation has to be true, regardless of how you word it. Okay. So it says, in every case where the original statement is true, the negation must be false. In every case where the original statement is false, the negation must be true. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, so then here it says, whoop, so it says state all the values that make the following statements true. So a factor of 20 and a multiple of 4. So if we think about the factors of 20, so factors of 20 are all the numbers that divide into 20. So 1 divides in, 2 divides in, 4 divides in, 5, 10, and 20. Multiple of 4 would be 4, 8, I should say up to 20. Sorry. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. If I don't give it an end, do you understand how it would go on forever? So the word and here, and means overlap or both. So which numbers are in both lists? So in both lists, we have 4. Is that it? Oh, and 20. Okay, so the answer would just be 4 and 20. If it was or, so if this question said or, you would list out, you just combine everything together. So you would just combine all the lists, and anything that's repeated, you just write it out one time. So an odd number, let's just say up to 20 again, and a factor of 8. So odd numbers up to 20 are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19. A factor of 8 is 1, 2, 4, and 8. So or means everything. So your answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. You'd make a big statement. Typically, the or answers are very long. The and answers are very short because and is the overlap, whereas or is everything. So an even number and not a factor of 8 or a factor of 12. So ands and ors together. Okay. So factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So or we would combine this. So if I combine that, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, right? Or is everything. So even number and. So and is where they overlap, what they have in common. So what are the even numbers So what's the only number I have to take off the answer? 3 and 1. Thank you. So the answer is 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Okay. Oh, not a factor of 8. Hold on, I have to read the question here. We're going to take that off because I don't want to redo the whole thing. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Not so yeah, exactly. So not a factor of 8. Not a factor of 8 would be the numbers 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. Like you'd have to go on forever, right? So without giving you an ending point, you can't do these questions. So, okay. But we're going to deal with the word not today a lot more. So it should start making sense. But that's what we did yesterday. Okay. So we're going to go to page 9. We're going to go through this as meticulously as we can. Some of the words we already talked about yesterday. My job is to take all those words on the page and simplify it down. Okay. So if you want to use a highlighter just to bring out the most important bits, I have a bunch of highlighters here. Okay. So highlighters really are our best friend in this unit because it allows us just to focus on all the important stuff. Okay, so set, this is what we just talked about yesterday. It's the collection of objects that match a condition. Okay, so a set, so for example, factors of 8 is 1, 2, 4, and 8. That's the set of the factors of 8. Set is just those funky brackets. Element is each member of the set. So an element of the factors of 8 is 2. Another element is 4. Another element is 1. Another element is 2. And the last element is 8. Okay, so the elements of the individual numbers or individual things that you're writing in your set. Okay? Nothing too earth-shattering there. Okay, so listing the elements of the set. So curly brackets together is read as the set of. So this is what we did yesterday. Okay, this straight line means such that. And this little E symbol means belongs to. Okay. Technically that E means element. Element means belongs. So like 2 is an element of the set factors of 8, or 2 belongs to the set of the factors of 8. Same thing. So if I asked for natural numbers, less than and equal to 6. I guess I should have wrote that here. Natural numbers less than and equal to 6. So that would be describing a set in words. Okay. What are your natural numbers? Are they 0 and up or 1 and up? Naturals are 1 and up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So set builder. Now, I have not seen this on the diploma, so I'm going to show it to you now, but I think we can kind of forget about it. So you draw your little set brackets. You go X such that. So less than and equal to 6. You would draw that. So the little numbers less than equal to 6. And then you would say X is natural. That's this part right here. So it's all the natural numbers less than and equal to 6. Okay. Okay. Now, sometimes you're asked for the number of elements in the set. So the way you would write that is it would be n brackets A. So if our set was named A, you would write it like that. So how many numbers are there in the set? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So NA equals 6. So what you need to understand on the diploma is the question won't read determine the number of elements in the set. The question will just say NA. So you'll have to know that N means number of. Okay. Can what? Yep. Is it not matching yours? Really? Okay. So they're just doing a complete, yeah. Okay. That's okay. I think on Google Classroom, I did scan these in because there was a student absent, I think, but if not, I will do that for you. Okay. So it says, note that the number 2 belongs to set A, but 8 does not belong to set A. Okay. So the way we say that is we say 2 is an element of A, 8 is not an element of A. Now, the order of them doesn't matter. So if you wrote the numbers less than equal to 6 as 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's the same answer. So as long as the stuff matches, it doesn't matter how you write the order. It's irrelevant. So if I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you decide to be fancy and write 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, just to be annoying, we're both still right. Okay. Okay, so let's just do some examples before we go on to the next set of shorthanded stupidity. Sorry, I recorded that. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Okay. Oh, come on. This needs to shift down. Okay. So it says, consider the following 2 sets. So do you have this example? Okay. Okay. So what I suggest you do with every single question, whether or not you're asked to do it or not, list out the elements. So in other words, take it from words to numbers. Because if you think in terms of numbers, it actually makes it way easier. So whole numbers, less than or equal to 3. So what are the whole numbers less than or equal to 3? Well, that would be 3, 2, 1, and 0, because 0 is a whole number. Okay. Even whole numbers less than 10. Now, it's less than 10. So what's your first even number less than 10? 8. So you would go 8, 6, 4, 2, and again, 0, because we're talking about whole numbers. So you remember how I said yesterday to not skim over these questions? Make sure you read every single word, because every one of those words is a clue to the answer. Okay. So whether or not you're asked to do that, I would recommend you do it. Okay. Now the diploma is going to write it fancy, right? It's going to write it in sets. But if you just list it out, we're good. Okay. Okay, so what does NP mean? So this means the number of elements in set P. So how many numbers are, so this is P, this one's Q. So this one is P, this one is Q. So how many numbers did I write out in set P? 4. How many numbers did I write out in Q? 5. So if we were to write this in set notation, and again, I didn't see any of this on the diploma, but we'll just show you here. So you go X such that So less than or equal to 3. So less than or equal to 3. So the little n's pointing to the x. And then you have to say that x has to be a whole number. So x is whole. This just means is or belongs to. So x belongs to the wholes. Okay. And then x out part D. We don't need to do that. So does that make sense? Okay. So again, the notation just, you're going to see a whole bunch of symbols on your page, but if I tell you what the symbols mean, the questions are actually quite easy, but it's just learning how to read the math. Okay, so it says the following sets are defined using non-negative single digits. So non-negative, so again, non-negative just means positive. So non-negative single digits. So list the elements of the set. So I'm just going to do it beside each one instead of writing it in this own little section here, but that's just how I prefer to do it. So what are the single digit even numbers? That would be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. What are whole numbers less than 7? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I include 7? Nope. Odd numbers less than 7. So that would be 1, 3, 5, and that's it, because I can't write out 7, because it's just less than 7. Okay, so first new word is the universal set. So the universal set is like the granddaddy of all the sets. Okay? It's like the parent. In actual fact, we call it parent function. But anyway, so evens are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. L is 0 to 6, and odds is 1, 3, and 5. So what could I say as a general description that would include everything? So I could make the universal set what? It's going to be whole numbers, because I have to include 0. Which is the biggest number I have written up there? 8. So I would say whole numbers less than and equal to 8. Now, does that sentence, is everything in E going to be included in that sentence? Is everything in L going to be included in that sentence? Is everything in O going to be included in that sentence? Yes. So your universal set is just what would encompass, like even if it's, okay, this is all the numbers 0 to 8, right? All the numbers 0 to 8. So it doesn't matter that this one is only numbers 1, 3, and 5. Are 1, 3, and 5 part of this set? Yes. So it doesn't, so your universal will have way more members than what you need. Is that the only universal set? No. As long as these would fill, you could say whole numbers from 0 to 100. Because would all those be included in 0 to 100? Yes. Now, is it stupid to make it 0 to 100 because now you've got a whole bunch of extra numbers that you're not using? Also, yes. Okay, but technically, you can make the universal anything as long as all of those are included within it. Okay? You're good with that? Okay. So, okay, so what I've done is on the next set of examples, I'm just going to keep this written at the top of each of our page so we remember what E, L, and O stand for. Okay, so it's not written on yours, but it's going to be written on each of my slides. So subset, okay, so let's, okay, so right now we've got 7 girls in class, me included, Melissa included, okay. Abigail and Reese have ponytails. So Abigail and Reese are a subset of the girls in class. So the girls in class, we are the universal set, the 7 of us. You two are your own little set, girls who wear ponytails. So we're group G, G for girls. You guys are group P, P for ponytails. P is a subset of G. Does that make sense? So they're a mini part of the bigger group. Okay? Okay, this is the symbol for subset. It looks like you took a C and you went squish. Okay? Now, you were told this on the formula sheet. So you were told that that symbol means subset. So it says subset E is a subset of U, right? U is the universal, right? So here's my even numbers. Here's my universal. So we would write E is a subset of U. Why is it? Because all the elements in E are also in U. Is E a subset of L? So I'm just going to go back to the last screen here. So E is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. L is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So are all the elements of E also in L? No. It's got the 0, it's got the 2, it's got the 4, it's got the 6, but it doesn't have the 8. So the answer is no. And the way we would write that is E is not a subset of L. So you'd put a diagonal line through it. So it says here, the last one, set O is a subset of L. So you're told, so O is a subset of L. So is everything in O also in L? Yes. So O is a subset of L. So O is a subset of L. Now that is also a subset of U. So you just write it like that. So O is a subset of L, which is also a subset of U. Now you may also see it drawn with brackets, and it means the same thing. Okay? It's essentially saying this. Every element in this is in this, and every element in this is in that. This and that. Make sense? We can cover vast amounts of information in this course, right? Like it's just learning how to read the subset stuff and trying to get some of those words on your page to be eliminated, right? So do you have any questions on subset? Okay. So I mentioned this one to you yesterday, and that is the empty set. So the empty set is 0 with a line through it. So the empty set is a set that has no elements, right? There's nothing there, okay? So the set of all odd numbers is set this should be what? Right, okay. So the set of all odd numbers in set E is empty because there's no odd numbers in set E. Like set E is just even numbers. There's no odd numbers in set E. So that would be an empty set. So give an example of another set that's empty. It would be even numbers less than 7 in set O. You could also say whole numbers bigger than 7 in set L, right? It's anything that's not part of the other. Empty set becomes more important to us in the next thing, it's really not that big of a deal with this. It's essentially, all I'm saying is that if the answer is there isn't one, write empty set. Don't leave it blank. Don't write 0, because 0 is a number. Okay, so make sure you put that diagonal line through it. Okay. Okay, so the last word here, before we get into the next stuff, is complement of a set. And I don't mean like you're so pretty. I don't mean compliment like that. Complement in math means the actual opposite of what. So if I say you're so pretty, I mean you are not. Okay? So complement of a set literally means not set. So the way we write it is we do a and then an apostrophe. This little apostrophe is sometimes referred to as a prime. Okay? So write the complement of set E. So not E. Okay, so what would not E be? So even numbers, so I just got to go back here. What did I make my universal? Universal was whole numbers less than and equal to 8. Okay, so whole numbers less than and equal to 8. So my universal is whole numbers less than and equal to 8. Okay, that's my universal. So E is even numbers. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? So what are the elements that are in the universal but that are not in E? 1, 3, 5, 7. Now again, the diploma will not use the word not. They will just simply have this expression on the page, and you need to know that that little dash or apostrophe means not. Okay. Okay. So it says list the elements. Did I miss part? Where's my part of my question here? Did I miss something here? Let me see your page here. I'm missing something. Okay, so it says, oh, A is natural numbers less than 20 divisible by 3. So natural numbers less than 20 divisible by 3. And B is natural numbers less than 20 divisible by 5. Okay, so you're starting with words. Thank you. So let's just list out the elements. And all you're doing is listing out the numbers that match that condition. Okay, so natural numbers means 1 and up, not 0, 1 and up. So numbers that are less than 20, so again, not equal to 20, less than 20, so the biggest number you can have on your page is 19. But we only want to list out the numbers from 1 to 19, but they have to be divisible by 3. So what's the first one? 3, then 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Remember, divisible by 3 and multiples of 3 are the exact same question. So less than 20, natural number, divisible by 5. So divisible by 5 means the multiples of 5. So 5, 10, 15. Can I write down 20? No, because the question says less than 20, not equal to 20. Okay. So my universal set is what? So what you want for universal is just take off your conditions. So we want it to be natural numbers less than 20, right? That's our parent thing. So essentially natural numbers less than 20 is 1, 2, 3 up to 19. Yes? So This means not A. So in other words, what are the numbers in my universal, but they're not in A? So that would be 1, 2, don't write down 3 because 3 is here, 4, 5, there's 6, 7, 8, there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 19. So if you had to write a description of the elements of the complement, so what would the complement of set B be? It would be natural numbers, right? Less than 20 that are not divisible by 5. Okay. Now, just so that you're aware, we're in math class after all, and even though this is a wordy type unit, I do not mark spelling. If I can generally get what you're trying to tell me, right? So if you are struggling with the words, but you could show me with numbers. So for example, on part C, if you wrote the answer as 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like if you actually wrote out what set B would be because you couldn't think of the words, I'm still marking you right. Okay, so don't leave anything blank. Even if you can't figure out the description with your language, but you know how to exactly write it with numbers, you're good to go. Because here's the thing, if you could write it out with numbers, could you then look at the numbers that you wrote and figure out the A, B, C, D by looking at the language? Yes. Okay. Okay, so same thing, part D here. So we added on another set. Natural numbers less than 20 that are now multiples of 6. So this would be 6, 12, 18. So I'm just going to rewrite out A here, just so I have it on the same slide. And set B was 5, 10, 15. Sorry, that's a 5. Okay. Yours is all on the same page, correct? So if you don't want to write them all out again, you don't have to. So what does this little symbol here mean? Subset. So is all of C in A? So is all of C in A? Yes. So this one is true. This means not subset. So what I suggest you do is answer that from the true side. Say, is C a subset of B? So is all the elements in C also in B? No. So we would write false, but not that means true. Hey, hold on. So you remember how I said yesterday how the whole not thing is confusing as all heck? Okay, so not A is a subset of not C. So what I suggest you do, this is how I handle this. It may not be how you handle it, but what I do is I physically list out what not A is. So A is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay? So not A would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 17, oh no, 16, 17, 19, right? That's not A, right? Not A. What's not C? So C is 6, 12, 18. Oh, goodness gracious. So not C would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 19. Okay, so now are all of these in all of that? So 1 is there, 2 is there, 4 is there, 5 is there, 7, 8, is 10 there, is 11 there, is 13 there, 14 there, 16 there. Yep. All of these are also in here. Unless I did it wrong. Did I do that right? I think I did. So this is true. Right? So all of this is in all of that. So subset's like saying inside of. Is all of this inside that? Okay. Now, okay, let's talk about diploma because we have to. It is so easy to mess with you on this because the ABCD is going to just be a whole bunch of sets with a whole bunch of random numbers. That can get very overwhelming for you. So what I suggest you do on these questions on the diploma, because remember this is the first unit you're going to see, is what for a lot of you will help you is if you put your hand over the ABCD and simply do the question, like what I did here. Okay, just put your hand over the question, over the answers. Do it, reveal the answer, and then match it up with what you wrote down. Okay. What they will do on a question like this is they will turn this into a numeric response. So the instructions will be, if you write true, record the number 1. If you write false, record the number 0. So what they would do is they would give you a 4th statement. And let's say whatever that is, it was false. So the numeric response answer key would be 1, 1, 1, 0 for true, 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 false. Now, all of that is 1 mark. And here's the nasty part. If you get these correct and you happen to get that one wrong, you still get 0 out of 1, not 3 out of 4. So it's incredibly frustrating. Okay. So you okay with universal set, not a set, empty set, and subset? You're okay? Okay. So that's questions 1 to 7 if you wanted to do more practice. Okay, so if you want to do practice on this 1 to 7, I'm going to keep going though, because it's not, most kids don't need to practice this. Once they understand what the symbol means, they're like, yeah, I got it. Okay. So the next thing is intersection versus union. So these symbols are given on your formula sheet. Intersection is shown with that symbol. It's like an upside down U. Okay. When you see the word intersection, I want you to think of overlap, or in other words, both. Okay. So it says the intersection of set A and set B is called blank and is written as that. The intersection of set A and B is called, I don't know what we would call that. I would say overlap. Okay. It is a set of elements that are members of both sets A and B. So it says write the intersection of set E and L. So we would write E intersect L like that. So E is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. L is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So which numbers are in both sets? Which ones overlap? Well, that's 0, 2, 4, and 6. So that is intersection. Okay, so intersection means overlap or both. Okay. So on your formula sheet, so if you flip back to that very back page, okay, or I think I gave you a formula sheet, did I not? Okay, so right here in the second column, the very last thing. So you'll see intersection, subset, and then the next one is union. It doesn't tell you what intersection means though. You need to know that intersection means overlap or both. Okay? Another way to say intersection means and. So if you see the word, see it says here, sets A and B. So A and B means the intersection of A and B. Visually, so we're going to get into Venn diagrams tomorrow. Visually, what's happening here is that is A and that is B. This right here, that's the intersect. That's the A and B. It's the overlap. Okay? Now, lesson 2 does everything by theory. Lesson 3 does everything by drawing a Venn diagram. Most kids like drawing Venn diagrams because it's visually appealing to you. Okay? So essentially, tomorrow's lesson is pretty much a carbon copy of today's. Very, very similar. A little zhuzhing in there, but pretty much the same. Okay, union looks like this. And the word that you're looking for is or. So A or B, right? Set A or set B. This means everything. So remember or from yesterday meant one or the other or both. So visually speaking, this is A, this is B. Or is everything in A or everything in B or everything in both. In other words, it's everything. So you take what A is, you take what B is, and you smush it together. And if there's repeated stuff, you just write it out one time. So E or L. So this means E or L. Okay. So if we were to take E or L, we're going to take those two sets and smush them together. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. That's the or. So one or the other or both. So intersection means and, which means overlap. Or union means everything. Okay. So square peg round hole is what this is going to feel like for a couple days. The problem is this unit's only 3 days long. So you have very little digestion time. Okay. You kind of have to latch onto it today because the test is in 2 days from now. Right? Like it's very, very quick. So disjoint sets. Disjoint is two sets are disjoint if they have no elements in common. So what that means is pictorially, what it would look like is this. There's no overlap. Okay. So that's what that disjoint means. So which two sets, E, L, or O, are disjoint? Which ones have no overlap? So is there overlap between E and L? Yes. Is there overlap between E and O? No. So E and O are disjoint. Is there a symbol? Is there a symbol on your notes? No, I don't think so. I think it's just a word that you'll see on your page. Yes. Yeah, I had another symbol for that. So, okay. A disjoint doesn't happen very often because we like to focus on the overlap versus everything. And if there's no overlap, it makes the question too easy. So another way to think of it, another way you can write this is E and O. So in other words, the intersection of E and O is empty. Okay, so they'll use the empty set symbol to show that there's no overlap. Okay, So intersection means overlap. So this means there is no overlap. Okay. So I'm going to try to use words that matter to you. So for me, overlap versus everything, those two words is what visualize. For some of you, you won't use the words, you'll imagine a Venn in your eyes. So Venn for intersection is where they overlap, or is all three circles together. So circle one, circle two, add the chunky bit in the middle. Okay. Okay, so visually, so I did copy this page out for you, just so you have a little color in your book. Okay. So here you go. You can pass those out. So just visually speaking, so why? So yellow things, red things, orange is the intersect. You bet. Okay. So the mathematical symbol is Y intersects red, or in other words, yellow and red. So if you see the word and means intersect. Just throw it on the desk there, I'll grab it after. Or, okay, so or is union. So this means union. So union is the yellow plus the red plus the orange. So if you see the word or on your page, or means union and means intersect. Okay. Intersect is the overlap, or is everything. Okay. So it's just learning the language and matching it to the symbol and then matching it to the diagram. So you've just got to kind of find a way to make that make sense in your head. Okay. And unfortunately, it's just a know by doing. And that's why we're going to do a ton of examples. Okay. Okay, almost done. Okay. Whoops. Oh, shoot. Okay. So consider. Oh, I just did it again. There we go. Oh, I wouldn't let me click on you. Nope. Okay. I can use my mouse when I can't use my finger. Okay. Nope. There we go. Okay. All else fails. Okay, so A, B, and C are given there. And the union, the universal set is given there. Okay? So if you wanted to put this onto a Venn diagram, you could, but it would just be kind of messy because we've got three things here, but only two circles. So you'd have to keep erasing it, but it would work. Okay? So it says list the elements of the following sets and describe each set in words. Okay. So this means A and B. This one means A or B. And means intersect, which is the overlap. Or means union, which is everything. Okay. So for part I is this part right here. Just that part. Okay. So I've listed out the elements beside each one here. So numbers less than 20 divisible by 3, numbers less than 20 divisible by 5, and numbers less than 20 multiples of 6. Okay, multiples of 6 is another way of saying divisible by 6, right? Those two are synonyms. So what is the overlap between A and B? What are the numbers that are in both sets? Which are the numbers that are in both sets of A and B? Just 15, right? So it's just 15. what are the numbers that are in A or B? So A or B means we're going to list out everything. So I'm going to start with 3 and then 5, 6, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18. So one or the other or both. Okay. Not A. So this is again where I struggle. So what I do for not A is I write out what that is. So A is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So not A would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, and 19. That's not A. This thing here means and or intersect, which means overlap. So this is not A. Whoop. This is B. What is overlapping between this one and this one? What's the overlap? 5, 10, just 5 and 10, right? Is there an easier way to do that question? I don't know. Remember how I said I don't like this unit? So even though this is going to be like 4 or 5 questions on the diploma, you have 6 hours. So I'm willing to write this out if it helps me do the question. To me, that's time well spent. I'm sure some of you could do this in your head. I'm not one of those people, but that's okay. Now, just off to the side, I just want you to, let's go back to bring this in here. What if the question said N, A and B? So this would mean how many numbers are in the overlap. So the answer would be 1. If I said how many numbers are in the union? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many numbers are in the intersect? And that would be 2. So they can make a multiple choice question into a numeric response question by putting that N there. Okay? N means number of. So you would still solve it this way, and then you would write the answer like that, right? So you'd still find the elements and then however many of them you have. Now, if you were to draw the Venn diagram, what it would look like, so if this is A and this is B, you'd start off with the overlap. So we already know the overlap is 15, is that. And then this would just be number 5, number 10. This would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. Okay. So that's how it would look because 15 is in the overlap. And then this is just the things that are in A. This is just the things that are in B. Yes, that's where we're going with this. Okay. It's not that bad, I promise. It's actually not that bad. And we typically only do 3 circles from like a context standpoint. And so it actually makes more sense when you bring context into it. Okay, so now they're going to bring in set C. Okay. So what does this symbol here mean? So what does this one mean? That means and is overlap. So what is overlapping between B and C? Is there any overlap between B and C? So don't leave it blank. You're going to write empty set. And the word you would use to describe that, whoops, not like that, is disjoint, right? There's no overlap. Okay, what does this symbol mean? That means or. So this means everything. So tell me everything. If I put A and C together, what would be everything in my list? So it would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Is it wrong if you wrote 3, 6, 6, 9, 12, 12, 15, 18, 18? Is that wrong? No. But the diploma isn't going to write repeats. But if it makes sense to you to write it with a repeat so you can show that everything's been smushed together, go right ahead and do that. Okay. So this means A and C, and is overlap. So what is overlapping between A and C? 6, 12, and 18. Yep. See, once you know what the symbols mean, it's actually not hard. It's just learning what the symbols mean and keeping it straight. With that being said, if you remember it backwards, you're getting a 0 on the exam. Because what am I going to do to you? One of the choices will be the and answer. One of the answers will be the or answer. And we're going to see if you're paying attention. So it's not a matter of, and I say this to my 30-1s all the time. So Kaylee, you've heard this. It is not a matter of circling an answer. It's like, oh, okay, I solved this question. Ooh, the answer was B. I'm circling it. That doesn't mean you did it right. Having a matching answer and having the correct matching answer are not the same thing. Right? They're not. But you won't know that. So you're going to come out of that diploma going, nailed it. Every question I did, I had an answer for. Okay, that's awesome. But that doesn't mean you did it right. So you've just got to really slow down. You've got 6 hours. It should take you about an hour and a half to write the exam. You then take the next however many hours that you want to take, and you just go through and check each one. Just go slowly through, seeing if you accidentally thought, oh, and you go, oh man, I'm glad I caught that. I thought this was or, but it's actually and. Because again, on your sheet, you're told which one means intersect and which one means overlap, or intersection versus union. As long as you remember intersection means overlap and union means both, as long as you keep that straight in your brain, you're told what the symbol means. Okay? Think about intersection. It's where they intersect, right? It's where they come together. Or is, well, this or this or this or this, right? Okay. Now, I have never seen anything this hard on the diploma. And Mr. Hughes said, yeah, this is definitely pushing the envelope as to what a 30-2 kid should be able to do. Okay. So last one. Okay. So we've got the universal set is everything under 20, 1 and up. So essentially 1 to 19. That's the universal. So I've listed out what A, what B, what C is. And then we're going to add in a new one. Here's D. So D just looks like it's even numbers, right? Okay, so just like with BEDMAS, start with your brackets, okay? So this means B or D. So B or D means everything. So what is everything between B and D? Oh, geez. It's 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 18. That's what B or D is. This means now and. So what is the overlap between A and that guy? So what is overlapping? What's in both? 3 is not in both. Is 6 in both? Yep. Is 9 in both? No. Is 12 in both? Is 15 in both? And is 18 in both? Yes. Now again, can you do that without writing this down? Oh, I'm sure you can, but I'm not that person. Okay. Okay, so start with the brackets. So this means A and B. So what is overlapping between A and B? 15. So 15 or D. So all we have to do is write out D and then insert what number into it? 15. So you write out all the D, you put in 15, right? Do you understand? I'm just tired of writing. So you would write 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18. Okay, the last one. Okay, take a breath, Mr. Schnorr. Okay, okay. So, unfortunately, two knots do not make a, right? Like, to not to, technically, but I still, even if it does work, I still list it all out because my brain just doesn't go there happily. So, start with not A. Oh, so what is not A? So not A would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, 19. Oh, goodness. What is not B? Are you kidding? Okay. 1 to 4, 6 to 9, 11 to 14, and 16 to 19. Okay? Now, what does this guy mean? Is that or and? That is and. So what is the overlap? So what's the overlap here between these two? 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 14, 16, 17, 19. Okay? So now we do not that. So our universal, remember, is everything from 1 to 19. So all numbers 1 to 19 that are not here. So that would be 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18. No, you would put a star beside it and come back once you've done the diploma and just settle in for the long haul. That's the better answer. So, okay? Now, okay, here's the thing though. If I said, would you rather have 8 questions on rationals or 8 questions on this? Really? I would have this any day of the week. Because even though it's a pain to write out, it's not hard, it's just annoying. Right? So, okay. Okay, so this looks horrible, but go ahead and follow my direction. So I already assigned 1 to 7. That was on the, like the subset, disjoint, empty set, that stuff. So 8, 9, A and B, but make sure that you omit parts 3, 4, and 8. Yeah. So number 10, ABC only. And make sure you take off parts 6, 7, and 8. So VI, VII, and VIII. Yep. Yeah. And then 11A only, 12 ABC only, and 14. Okay.